Okay, hello my crochet friends. My second time trying an intro. I know it's been a while. I hope you guys can forgive me and bear with me. It's a hard time of year for me with the depression. It usually starts in September, and it usually goes until mid-January if I'm lucky. A lot of times it goes straight into February, and I dip in and out of it. Okay. I go into the depression and then I come out, and then I go in and then I come out and then in, and it'll happen 3 or 4 times, and then eventually it hits a point, usually around mid-November, where I go into it and I don't come out again until January or February. The reasons I'm able to get out in September is because my middle child has a birthday. He's turned 21 this year. My youngest child has a birthday in October. They turn 19. And then Halloween. Halloween's always fun. I love handing out candy at the door, and how much the kids love Arlo, because Arlo is always runs to the door with me when the trick-or-treaters knock on the door. So there's an emotional high that comes with Halloween that keeps me for a good week or so. And then my birthday happens, and I'm usually okay then, and then right after that, it dips down. So it's hard to sit in front of the camera. I know you guys like it real, and I love being real and transparent with you, but in reality, it is very hard to sit in front of the camera and talk about this stuff, or to even show you guys my regular life that doesn't even have anything to do with crocheting. It's very hard because it's so dark when you're depressed. So I know I owe you guys a Christmas tree skirt. Okay? So I have already filmed this video like twice with the Christmas tree skirt, and I didn't like either one of them. So let's try it again. But we'll start out with a random project. All right. So today I'm sitting at my computer. All right. I know it's not a very pretty background, but it's what I work with every day, right? I had this random ball of red yarn that has silver metallic running through it. So it's got that shimmer and that sparkle in there. And I just crocheted up like with ribbing. You know how we do a single crochet in the back loop only, and it creates this ribbing that stretches. You would use it for like a cuff on a sleeve, or if you made a pair of gloves, or at the bottom of a sweater. And I wanted to do something that would kind of be like crocheted garland, but not. It could be used either on a tree or hanging from my bookshelves. And that's where I was really going. I would love to be able to hang like a garland on my bookshelves. But it wasn't enough. It was just a random ball of yarn. So when I was done with this, I found a skein of yarn, and I did the whole skein. Okay. It is chain 10 plus 2. I keep the 2 as a turning chain, because it gives us a little bit of a curl to it, and I love that. So the chain 2, I don't use it as a stitch. It just gives me a nice clean edge, right? So then it's 10 single crochets, chain 2, turn, and then single crochet in the back loop only for 9 stitches. And for the 10th stitch, I do a single crochet through both loops, okay? Chain 2, turn. And so that's all it is. Just 10 single crochets. 9 of them are in the back loop. The 10th one, I do it through both loops. And I was going to be making garland. So we moved over to a ball of white. Red Heart with Love, metallic. In the color white. I found this at my thrift store for $1.99. Let's see. It is number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. Acrylic, but with the metallic in there. It's 4.5 ounces, 127 grams, 200 yards, 183 meters. And I used the whole skein of yarn with a size F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter. And so the metallic in this is more of an iridescent and not the silver metallic. Can you guys see that? Did it show up on my camera or not? So anyway, I used the whole skein, and off the top of my head, I have no idea how long it is. Be nice if I had a tape measure sitting at my desk. I can tell you how long it is. So this is just a rough estimate, okay? Let's see. Because it's got a lot of stretch to it, and I don't want to stretch it out to measure it. I'm already past 60 inches. Not 50 inches. There's 60. Okay. Okay, so I'd say roughly 75 inches, okay? And it will hang on my bookshelf if I put it up on a hook here and on a hook over here, and it'll drape, okay? Am I going to put anything else on there? I was thinking little red pom-poms to make it look like holly berries, but I don't know yet. So it's still a work in progress, okay? But isn't that cute? And I could absolutely stick it on a tree if I wanted to. And you can fold it in half. It'll almost look like popcorn garland. Nice. So completely random crochet projects. That's what I'm all about. So did I stop there? No, I did not. I had to go pick another random color. Ready? Your classic red, white, and green with silver metallic for Christmas. This one is from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It's a 5-ounce skein, and its color is literally called Christmas. So, I started working on one in the traditional colors. I didn't get very far. No, it's only, what, 12, 14 inches maybe. I'm sorry, my friends. I feel like I'm talking at you and not to you. There is a difference when I sit here in front of the camera. So I'm struggling a little bit. So let's just go into the tree skirt, right? So you know the tree skirt that I've been making is made in panels, and I know this is orange, but it's from my Halloween one. And it's a wedge shaped. So you got to do 8 panels for this pattern, okay? The hook I used was a size G, which is that a 4mm? The yarn is a number 4 medium worsted weight acrylic. All right, you're gonna chain 17. You're gonna chain 17, okay? And in the 5th chain from the hook, you're going to do your first double crochet. And you're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way across. When you get to the last chain, do 2 double crochets. It will always increase on the last stitch of every row. That's how it makes its shape, okay? So row 1 would be a total of 15 stitches. All right, and in order to get those 15 stitches, the chain 3 or the chain 4, I like to do the chain 4 on the first row because this gets really, really tight. So I like to have a little bit more room in there for when I go back to join them. So the turning chain, whether it's a chain 3 or chain 4, is always your first double crochet. And then you've got 13 more going across, right, until you get to that last one. And you do 2 double crochets in that last stitch, okay? So then you would chain 3, turn, and when you're working with double crochets, you know when you do your chain 3 and turn, you skip the first double crochet of the row before, okay? Because the chain 3 acts as your first double crochet, so you skip. So you will always have a little gap like this, which is fine because we work in that in order to stitch the panels together, all right? So then you would do a double crochet in each across till you get to the end, and then 2 in the last stitch, which is always 2 double crochets in the turning chain, all right? So row number 2 will have a total of 16 stitches. All right, I wrote it down. So it just increases by 1 for every row. Row 3 would have 17 stitches. Row 4 would have 18. Till you get up to row 36. It is 36 rows, and it would be a total of 50 stitches. Okay, 36 rows. It comes in at about roughly 20 inches. 24, 22, hold on. Because I want the tree skirt to be 48 inches around. Yeah, okay. So this panel here, it is 22 inches. So when you've got one on the other side of the tree skirt, it'll be 22 inches. So that's 44. And then with the gap in the middle for the circular opening, it gets you to roughly 48 inches, okay? So, size G hook, size 4 medium worsted weight yarn, 36 rows, and it increases from 15 stitches in the first row to 50 stitches on row 36, okay? I even did a little chart for those who like to follow the charts, okay? There's these little circles are the chains with the numbers, and then the turning chain, the double crochets, the 2 in the last stitch, and then the numbers, okay? This, I cannot put this down in the description box. I can, however, put the stitch count in the description box for you, okay? So you got to do 8 panels. When you are done, you are going to join those panels. You're going to take, I usually start at the small end, hold one up next to it, okay, and single crochet. I do 2 single crochets in the chain 2 spaces, and I do 2 single crochets in the last stitch of the row. So it'll be 2 in each all the way up. And I will show you what it looks like when it's put together. I will go lay it out on my bed. And then when you got all 8 panels together, what I did is I would do a single crochet along the border to make a border. Where the circle opening is, I would just do a single crochet. And remember, when you do your 8 panels together, do not connect number 1 on this side and number 8 all the way around. Don't connect them because you need it to be open so you can lay it around your tree. All right. So I do a single crochet, and then when I get to the end, a single crochet down this way, and then I do a single crochet on the biggest, widest part of the tree skirt, and then I go back and do a picot border, which I'll show you what that looks like. And then you can also do a shell border if you wanted, but I will show you all my options. It'll be upstairs in my room. I don't have room here at my computer for that, okay? But to help calm myself down a little bit, I'm making myself a cup of tea, and then I will get upstairs and I will show you examples of the tree skirts that I have been working on, okay? Okay, my friends, so there's Arlo. You see Arlo and his tail? There's my Christmas tree stand. Now, my tree stand is for a live Christmas tree. It's not for an artificial tree. So my tree skirt opening is big to fit around the big stand. So my tree skirt pattern with 8 panels at 36 rows and about 22 inches looks like this when we put it around the tree stand. Now, you can have the tree skirt go all the way up to the stand, but it wouldn't come out as far as the branches, right? Or you can pull it down a little bit or you can add more rows. Because you see, this one does not quite fit around right there. It does not go all the way around the tree stand. It would, however, do it on an artificial tree, but I don't have a stand for an artificial tree to show you what that looks like. So you're going to have to use your imagination. Okay? Now, let me go find one of my other tree skirts, because this is the variegated gradient green color, which I think looks fantastic. And what I did was you see how I did 2 single crochets in the chain space. So on the other side, it would have been the double crochet at the end of the row. And then, you know, the chain space and the double crochet. So I just did 2 single crochets in each all the way down. Okay. And then when I did the trim on the edge, I did 2 rows, 1 of single crochet, and then I went back and did, I think there is 6 or 7 single crochets in between the picots. And you know, a picot is where you chain up 3, 4, 5, depending on how big you like your little points. I think I did 5, and I created a picot border, which I really love the picot border on this. All right, so there's my green one. I did not sew in the yarn tails on that yet. This is a beige oatmeal brown color that I did. Oh, it's so pretty. So again, you guys can see that it doesn't close in the back. So when you crochet your 8 panels together, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you leave it open in the back so it'll go around your tree, okay? Don't make the mistake I did when I first made my first tree skirt back in 1989. I stitched it up and I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to get it around the tree stand? Give me 1 second. I think I have a pinkish colored one I can show you. Sorry, I keep kicking the tripod. So this pink one is actually a pink heather. The yarn is from Big Twist from Joann's. It's actually the same type of yarn as this oatmeal beige. And while I stitched it together, I have not done the picot border on it yet. That one's got some Arlo walking around on it, getting his claws stuck on it. I love the pink. I think it would look really pretty with a pastel colored tree, a white tree, a silver tree that does sugar plums, and you know, I think it would look fantastic. So I haven't done the border on this one like I did on these two. And it still has yarn tails sticking out of it. I don't know why I didn't finish this one. So if you wanted to, if you have a big tree stand like I do, you can add maybe a 9th and a 10th panel back there. If you have a big wide tree, you can always add more than 36 rows. You know, row 36 has 50 stitches, so if you did row 37, it would have 51. and go from there. You can make it longer, and you can make it wider, and you can change the border. While I did picot borders on these two, the original tree skirt from 1989 has this scalloped edge, and I would love to make one of the new ones with a scalloped edge, but it is a yarn eater. There's 7 double crochets in that scallop, so it is a yarn eater. Let me go grab some of my other colors that I have and put them around the tree stand. See what other color combinations we can come up with. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, if you will indulge me for a minute, I'm going to do a rainbow color. Let's do pink. Do red. And do orange. Yellow. I've got 2 different shades of yellow. Let's go with the warmer tone of yellow. Let's go with green. Some blue. Oh, let's do another shade of green because I don't have any purple. Do a blue. I like that. I also got some neutrals that I could do. Oh my goodness, that looks so pretty. Oh my goodness. Let me stop the camera for a second and take a picture. You guys, I love this. This is, when I started doing all the colors of the rainbow, this is exactly what I was thinking, other than I'm missing purple. But look at this. Some pink, some red, orange. Yeah, I did use the warmer shade of yellow because I think that one would have been too pastel, and this yellow could almost pass for white. Some green. I also have this very olive shade of green, which goes really well with these browns I've got going over here. And some lime green. Let's go put that closer there. So could you imagine green, blue, and then purple? I would take out this shade of green. I just put it in there so you guys can see the effect of it. But I don't have a purple one made yet. I think it's because I don't have any purple in my stash. And then what would I do? I would use white, I would think, to bring out all these colors. I think I would use white to stitch them together. Maybe. And then get some purple in the back here. I might add other colors in the back just to round it out a little bit. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Alright, let's see what it looks like with the more neutral colors. Oh, look at that. The pink, the red, the green. Whoa, that's killing it right there. Very modern take on colors. Let's see. Some warm brown. Give it a gingerbread feel. Beige, maybe. Another brown. The olive green. Oh, and this darker shade. Oh, yeah. Look at that yellow. Nice. So you see, You can make these panels in any color you want. That, I'm sorry, but that pink and that red and that green, oh, that's killing me. I love that. And then with the neutrals, and then with the warm, oh, yeah, you can go so many different ways with that. The possibilities are endless with this tree skirt, and that's what I love about crocheting. You can do any color combo that makes you happy. Not what makes me happy, but what makes you happy. Okay? How about this golden yellow right here, right? It's a really dark version of mustard yellow. But could you imagine it with a little bit of a darker red? You could do a Harry Potter theme for the houses, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I appreciate you guys. Everybody who reaches out and sends me a message on Instagram or an email or wherever. And if I don't answer, I'm sorry. It really is the depression. Can I show you my favorite mug? It's a Halloween mug. Yes, I will switch over to a mug for Christmas, but not actually till the week of Christmas. This is my favorite mug to make a hot cup of tea in. And it's just your basic black tea. I do like orange pekoe. I do like Darjeeling. Earl Grey. Today it's just basic black with some sugar. I'm in the middle of making a pot of chili for today, because I love to have chili and a baked potato, and with the diabetes, I gotta watch the potatoes. I actually took most potatoes out of my diet because they're way too high in carbs. The starch is actually sugar water, so even though it's a vegetable and it's healthy because it's got potassium and other things in it and some fiber, the starch content is way too high. But if I can have a bowl of chili with maybe like half a baked potato on the side, so good. So I'm in the middle of working on my beans because they're dry beans, so I have to rehydrate them and make them nice and soft. So I'm working on a pot of chili today. I'm sorry, what I wanted to do was to work a tree skirt with you guys. I really did want to sit and crochet with you and work with you. I just haven't been able to do it. I have not been motivated to crochet at all. And what little excitement you guys just saw about the color combinations, that's because playing with color makes me happy. But it's only a temporary happiness. It will only last for a couple hours. It will not be with me tomorrow. Unfortunately, it will go. But that's my life with depression. This time of year is the worst. I always come at it in January, February. I mean, I always come out of it and I'm okay. But I still have some root causes as to what the problem is for this time of year, that while I've been trying to deal with it and confront my problems head on, some of them are just so old that you just don't really know where they come from, and they're so ingrained, it's so hard to get rid of the way that you deal with it. You got to learn new coping mechanisms, and since it only happens once a year at a certain time, it's hard for me to work on it throughout the rest of the year, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope if any of you suffer the way I do, that you've got somebody, just one person in your life who understands and can help you through it. For me, it's my husband. He's watched me struggle for years, and he's always a big help for me, and I appreciate that very much. It's not easy living with me at this time of year. So that is my Christmas tree skirt pattern. You make 8 panels, 36 rows, the starting chain of 13 plus 4. That's my alarm for my go check on my beans. Yeah, so I mean, I gave you all the numbers. I will do what I can about putting it in the description box down below. I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. And if you're not, just keep your head down. Just lay low for a couple weeks. Practice some self-care. I have to do that. Right now I have to force myself to get into the shower and wash. It's about every 3 days now for me. I really work really hard not to go 4 or 5 days without a shower, but it is a struggle on the 3rd day to get into the shower. I know how hard it is. But self-care can look like anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be getting in the shower. It could just be getting out of bed. It can be watching Hallmark movies all day, every day. If you binge watch movies or TV shows, or you binge read a book, that is all self-care. It is all how we protect ourselves from the outside world, and it's okay to do that. If your self-care involves hanging out with other people in a big family setting or friend setting and getting everybody together, then do it. Do it. Your friends will understand, right? Your family will understand, hopefully. If not, hit me up down in the comments below. I will do what I can to help you through the holidays. I will do what I can to come back in closer to Christmas to see how everybody is doing, because, you know, I know how miserable I can be, so it might not be a lot of crochet related content, but maybe it'll just be what it's like to get through the holidays when you are depressed, when depression is very much an everyday part of your life. Let's see if we can get through it together. I have an idea. It just came to me last night when I was binge watching TV, and my husband sits with me for about half of it, right? Do you know how people are putting those basket weave collars around their tree, or galvanized tin buckets, you know, and so, you know, it's like a basket, but it's bigger for underneath of your tree, and it's called a tree collar. I was thinking, how about if we crochet a basket, either with or without the bottom, and crochet a basket to have it stand up underneath the Christmas tree. Like, I do have an artificial tree. We have 2 artificial trees, actually. It's been a couple of years since we've had a real live tree in the house. So maybe not something as big as this, but I mean, I could go that big. Whoops, sorry, Arlo. I just scared Arlo. But yeah, I'm thinking reds and greens and like 4 or 5 strands held together so it would be thick enough to stand up. Like those crocheted baskets that I made with Jada's pattern, Jada in Stitches. Just take her pattern and make it bigger, and then make it a little taller, and we can crochet a basket for around the bottom of the Christmas tree. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll come back to you in about a week or 2 with a little bit more firmed up idea about that. You know how much I love you guys, so I'm gonna make an effort this year to come back and just chat, okay, to make it through the holidays. And maybe we can talk about like what my husband and our kids, what we do for the holidays. We don't celebrate like everybody else does. We do things a little bit differently, and I think it's because of my mental health issues, and I think we've changed the way we do things so we can get through the holidays together as a family. So and maybe I can start figuring out what we do that works for us, and maybe I can share that with you. Arlo sends his love. Bandit sends his love. My family does too. My husband was very excited when I told him I was ready to sit down and do a crochet video. He was very excited because I know it's been like 2 months. So I think I might grab these rainbow colors and grab some white. No, not white. I'm thinking where the red and orange go together, I would stitch them together with purple, because purple's at the other end of the rainbow. And where the orange and the yellow go together, maybe I can stitch that together with blue. So this way I get some of the color from the other side of the rainbow on this side. Maybe I can stitch the panels together with the opposite colors and then do a border. And then I'm really thinking a scalloped edge would be really nice on that. Hi, baby. Do you want to come say hi? There he is. Look at the handsome boy. Look at the handsome boy. Mwah. Yes. Okay. Goodbye, handsome boy. He's trying to get underneath all of the crochet panels. You are too cute. Ready? You gonna hide? Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can do that. Here he is. Whoop! Right on cue. Oh, he's perfect. All right, guys. I love you, and I will catch you later. Bye.